Welcome to HDTV. You're now rocking with your boy. So after that hit piece trying to throw Eric Bieniemy under the bus and basically call him the angry black man, Tyreek Hill comes in to defend him. An article published by Chiefs Kingdom this week suggests that Bieniemy and Patrick Mahomes do not get along, and Bieniemy's ego often gets in the way of him finally getting a head coaching gig. There's far more to the report, which can be read here. Bieniemy is a great offensive football mind, but can at times let his ego get the best of him. Heck, so can any quarterback. Head coach or player with influence on a football team. The OC and Mahomes have reportedly had a quiet feud dating back to the 2020 season. Comments such as the following only added to that. You guys have been around him. You know him, said Bieniemy. He's a competitive prick. Okay, he's a great kid, but he's a competitive prick. He wants to improve at everything he could possibly improve upon. He wants to be the best at whatever he can do. And along the way, he wants to make sure that he's leading the guys. He wants to be held accountable by his peers. But also, too, he just wants to work. And that's what you love about being around him every single day. Bieniemy has gotten countless head coaching interviews over the last few years, only to come up short and time again. There are a few things to blame for that. But eventually, it seems Bieniemy will get his chance. Y'all really hating on EB. He one of the best coaches in the building. Ty Hill at his account Cheetah on Twitter responded to these claims. Tyreek Hill benefits from Bieniemy's offense, so it's easy to see why he would rush to his defense. However, Hill didn't necessarily disprove anything in the report, nor did he say it wasn't true. He merely stated that Bieniemy was one of the best coaches in the building. Considering he's a coordinator of one of the best offenses in all of football, we have to agree. The Chiefs' offseason is just getting started, and with Bieniemy a free agent for the time being, this is the last thing Kansas City needed right now. Look, we all know what this is. We've seen this before. We've seen this before. We know what this is about. What this is about is throwing Eric Bieniemy under the bus while letting everybody else get a pass. I'm trying to figure out why Spagnuolo ain't been called out. His defenses have been terrible, but yet Eric Bieniemy is the problem. I told you guys what it was. That piece was to deflect blame from Patrick Mahomes and deflect blame from Stay Puff Marshmallow Man. That's all that stuff was. That's all it did. That's all it did. That's all it did, and that's one of the biggest problems that a lot of people are saying they have. And people are upset because Bieniemy is a hard-nosed coach. He's not out here to kiss your butt. He's not out here to he's not out here to be your buddy. He's out here to make you better. And that's just the way it is. And people have got to stop with all this, oh well, because of his like a person said, because of his attitude and this and that. Why black people gotta have attitude? Like, people always want to come talk to the black guy to try to calm him down and talk to him like he's a child. But with the Latino or Latina or the white guy, you know, the Latino or the white guy or the Asian man or the African, they don't say nothing to them. They let them be about their business. That's what I'm telling you, man. They want a lot of black men docile. That's what they want. They want all of us docile. They don't like a strong black man. And it proves to it. They're talking about, well, Tyreek Hill didn't say it wasn't true or not and everything. Because it's not true. The thing is, I told you, Travis Kelce, he's soft. When you yell at him or get on him, he shells up like a chick. He does. He shells up like a chick. He can't handle being talked to. Him and Bieniemy went at it on the sideline. Then later on, they went back and hugged. You know why? Because Kelce's soft. Patrick Mahomes can't throw from the goddamn pocket. So Bieniemy gets on him because Bieniemy wants the best out of him. But see, if Mike Kafka or Matt Nagy was there, Matt Nagy was yelling at guys, but it's okay because he's the white guy. He's not the angry white guy. He just is passionate. This is what I'm talking about, this double standard crap. We're not fooled. We know what's going on. We're not stupid. We know what the NFL and you guys are doing. Y'all conspiring to try to keep him out of a head coaching job because y'all know the guy's tough. He's a tough guy. That's what Bieniemy is. Now, moving right along. And plus, I exposed them on that video. They got exposed because Eric Bieniemy, they only interviewed Eric Bieniemy so they can say they interviewed him. And then they made up all these lies. All these lies. Here we go. Now, let's see. Here's an article. There's comments coming up about Kyler Murray's leadership. Let me see if you guys can hear this. Hold on. Give me a second, y'all. Need y'all to hear this.
More comments about Kyler Murray's leadership emerge.
Outside of the Super Bowl, the persisting story in the NFL has been around the Arizona Cardinals and quarterback Kyler Murray, whether it is his Instagram account, comments made by someone in the organization, or him responding to what he calls nonsense. His leadership has been questioned. While some comments that have come from those in the organization have been quite harsh and critical, some is reasonable and bring up valid things Murray can improve. NFL Network's Jim Trotter added insight to what is being said about Me's leadership. Appearing on NFL Network on Tuesday, Trotter indicated that teammates and those in the organization don't know who Murray is other than, he's a guy who keeps to himself, he tries to lead by example. They still don't know who he is because his personality is not such that he reaches out in that way. This doesn't mean he is a recluse and doesn't speak to teammates. That isn't true. He is close with receivers Christian Kirk and DeAndre Hopkins. When the team acquired tight end Zach Ertz, Murray immediately connected with him and Ertz gushes about Murray. This is perhaps the fairest commentary we have heard about Me's intangibles. He is a quiet player who prefers to lead by example, much like Larry Fitzgerald when he played. Fitzgerald never had a big voice in the room. Does Murray need a bigger voice in the room? Perhaps. That is sort of expected from quarterbacks. But he also has begun to make those connections with teammates, even if it isn't with all of them. Murray, who will be entering his 4th NFL season, still has things to improve, as does every player in the NFL. But perhaps it isn't nearly as bad as some reports are painting Murray. Listen to the latest from Cards Wire's Jess Root on his podcast, Rise Up, See Red. Subscribe on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Latest show. Previous shows. And...
yeah. So... that's basically what it is. To me, what I think from the whole Kyler Murray and the situation, I believe Kyler Murray is a leader. I believe he leads by example. He's a great player. The problem I keep telling y'all with the Cardinals is Cliff Kingsbury. Now, the only thing I can't defend from Kyler is him scrubbing them down on the internet. He shouldn't have done that. And then not only that, he should have went back in the game. If that's true. All of this stuff is allegedly, by the way. You know that I'm speaking. Everything's allegedly, and I can use the Fair Use Act says I can use the information I'm using. So, what I'm saying is this. Kyler Murray and everything to me made a mistake. He made a mistake. Excuse me. He made a mistake. He was wrong for what he did. But at the same time, I believe Cliff Kingsbury is going to be the ultimate reason that these guys basically hold on, sorry, I lost my train of thought. Kyler Murray, to me, Cliff Kingsbury, excuse me. Sorry, y'all, just tired. Cliff Kingsbury's ultimately going to be the reason that the Cards don't achieve their next level. That's basically he's going to be the reason. So, he doesn't know how to adjust during the game, and his plays are very vanilla. When we call it vanilla, that means it's easy to read, easy to see. And a lot of times teams catch it and they're like, yeah, we understand. But yeah. Let me guys know what you guys think. I think the Eric Bieniemy, Tyreek Hill coming to speak, defend them and stuff. Like I said, I think they're trying to put everything on Eric Bieniemy so they give reason to why they're not going to sign him back. And most likely Eric Bieniemy might be heading to college. Because the NFL has dirtied his name, they dirtied him up. They don't like Eric Bieniemy because he's passionate. When a black man's passionate, that's seen as an angry black man or a crazy black man. When a black man defends himself, he's the problem. I mean, this is the society we live in. And I told you, most of these fans are racist too. They're prejudiced. So they don't care about this situation. And the Kyler Murray situation, Kyler Murray made a mistake. He's a kid. Y'all act like y'all never made mistakes as a kid. We got to stop destroying some of these kids because they make a mistake. Sometimes they're going to make more than one mistake. But at the same time, Kyler got to understand, when things are great, you can't just be a good person, and then when things are bad, you can't turn your back on your team, man. And all this stuff I'm saying is allegedly. We don't know if all of this is true or not about Kyler. I'm just reporting on what's given. I just think that Kyler jumped the gun. He shouldn't have done that. Arizona got blindsided by it because they thought everything was cool. I think they love Kyler. I really think the organization wants to build with him. And when he did that, that kind of rubbed him the wrong way, as this kid might be spoiled brat material. And then you had Jeremiah Trotter come out and tell him about the teammates that he's cool with, that they had to come to his defense. Kyler Murray probably was frustrated, but you got to go back on the kid. If this is true that you didn't want to go on the field, then that's going to look damaging. But hey, I think Cliff Kingsbury is the problem, and I think Cliff Kingsbury needs to be fired, especially when he called Sean McVay before a game to have two chicks sit in some seats. Where are your priorities at, man? Your priorities is in the banging European models instead of winning football games. And if this was a black coach, I'm sorry, he would have got fired on the spot. So let me know what you guys think. Thank you for listening. Like, comment, subscribe, share this, hit the notification bell to select all and receive upcoming notifications. And if you love what you hear, you can go to the description box, hit the link to my Cash App. You could donate $1, donate $1 million, whatever you're willing to give, we accept. And when the videos premiere and the videos are live, you guys can super chat. So Thank you guys, man, for the love and support. We out. Deezy.